What's up,
What's up,
everyone?
everybody? What's up, Rebecca and Carrie?
Hey, Carrie, I like your new background.
Oh, thank you. I moved into my dining room.
Ooh, how's that working for you so far? Here, or here?
It's working good. A little bit of glare, but I like the space.
Very peaceful background. I like it. Yeah, and so we had a new trainer certification course start today, and I encouraged our newbie trainers, cert learners to sign on and watch, because you get to hear from Pam Raydens tonight, who's going to share her experience after a few years with her trainer certification. So if you're watching tonight, if you are in that trainer cert course, will you please write in the chat, I'm here, I'm present, and I don't know, maybe that'll get you like some bonus points tomorrow or something. I'll see what I can work with Alejandro.
I was going to say, is there some extra credit there, like a free thing that's going to be? Yeah.
It's just show the love. Just show the pack love. That's what I'm hoping for.
Showing the love. You just gotta love that. Well, that's such a great way to encourage people to do things. And ooh, you know what? Speaking of encouragement, I have already pulled one of those in the moment support cards.
Nice.
Because encourage is one of those areas in there. And so I'm curious, you guys want to hear it?
Yes.
You are needed in this world. You are needed in this world. And that you are, all of you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I think sometimes, you know, I have those moments of feeling like, am I just taking up space? And so having that you are needed in this world gives you a better outlook on, okay, maybe I'm doing more than just taking up space.
You're letting your preteens get in your head, Matthew.
Oh, how can you tell?
Oh, bless you. Carrie, what you got for us tonight? I know you have been working so hard on this intro and bringing such great examples of what's going on our other platforms, because sometimes we get so siloed. It's easy for us just to think about what's going on SUP this week, but there's so much else going on in the Packiverse. So what you got for us?
Wow, thanks so much for that. We want to always thank every viewer for sharing our free content. We love doing this stuff for you guys. So thanks for subscribing and sharing, commenting, and liking on YouTube and Facebook. Next week on SUP out here on YouTube, we have Sherry Thiessen, PAC trainer and director of County House Residents. Look forward to talking with her. We also have the topics from last week, a couple topics that I picked from the Live at 5 crew over on Facebook. How to modify a sermon or talk when we know the idea is to use less words. How might you do that? How to substitute, could you help me when something's not working? Have you guys had these, do you guys use these skills? I think we all do. Also, how to identify and approach a diamond. So again, this is free content from our Live at 5 crew. They love getting more topics. So go visit them on Facebook, Live at 5, and leave comments and ask questions. They love looking for new topics to help you guys out and share our skills, drill those skills down. Also, TIPA goes live at 8 a.m. every morning on Facebook, and I picked a couple of our topics from last week. This one, when someone says, I can't complain, what are they trying to say or not say? This is always a topic that you kind of want to delve in deeper. Is there something more happening under the surface? And recognizing who you are, who you've been, what your current gem state is, and how that can help you understand what works best when trying to make changes. Tipa's got tons of great advice that she gives out at 8 o'clock in the morning on Facebook. Visit her there. And you know what? Oh my gosh, guys, tomorrow we need your help. We need a couple questions for our problem solving with PAC. We're going to be live on YouTube again, tomorrow. If you've got a question you want the team to help you with, email us at dps@tpasnow.com. And we'll be on Facebook next month. Oh, I've got two conflicting. Oh, sorry about that, guys. We're on YouTube tomorrow for sure. Also, I think we only have 1 or 2 more days left of this sale for the discount on your certifications. If you sign up for a certification before Labor Day, you'll get a great discount and some additional content. So this is coming down to the wire here. Get those orders in for your certification this year. And more, we've got the conference on sale. We have early bird incentives. You get an exclusive webinar with TIPA and 50% off of the relationships guidebook or the Seeing the Gems workbook. So take advantage of our great orders or our great offers for early bird incentives. What's the last thing I got here? Oh, the Pacific Rim Champion Thursdays for our friends in Sydney, Kuala Lumpur, or London. So this happens on Wednesday Eastern time, but on Thursday on the other side of the world. So these are specific for our Pacific Rim champions. Get your skills. This is a package of all four of the champion days together for $169. Sign up for that coming up in June. Coming down to the wire, guys. That's what I got for you.
Awesome. You know what, Carrie? I love a good deal. I love a good deal so much that as a PAC mentor, I actually have all my certifications. But when I got the email yesterday, I was like, wait, there must be something I can sign up for. Because I just love a good deal. And also, speaking of good deals, we got the email out last week about group pricing for conference. So buy 4, get 1 free. And I have to put in a little plug because as you were talking, I think the viewers could only see you and your PowerPoint, but Matthew and I both put on our mask and got out our PAC conference swag. And I have to tell you, we have all been sending in pictures. And so we're asking all of you, as you sign up for conference and get your swag, please send us pictures. We're going to send out an email next week that shows some of those. And I have to tell you, I have the cutest little pumpkin take a picture with my PAC swag. My nieces were here last weekend, and my niece walked out of her little Tia Camp bedroom one morning with a big peacock on her shirt. And I thought, how perfect is that? She's so packed out today. And so I had my sweet little 6-year-old niece put on the mask and get the swag out. I didn't give her my tattoo because I want to keep that one for myself because we're going to do something really fun with those tattoos. But yeah, she might be the cutest one. Although I don't know, Jess Pelkey sent some really cute pictures too, and Catherine and the Bulgarelli family. So if you're out there and you haven't sent in a picture with your PAC swag, please do so. We are really building up for conference. And one of the things that we've done this week is held our first round of speaker meetings. So our conference is in November, but we are starting to, as a team, come together and really, we've had our titles for about 2 months. We've had our goals in mind, but really just really coming together. And you know, if anyone who's been to a certification knows that we're constantly drilling skills. And so I want you guys to know that we are drilling our skills to make sure that this year's conference is a cut above, and hopefully there will be something valuable. Well, I don't even say hopefully, like I know there's going to be something valuable for every single person who comes. So get signed up, get registered. We've got that early bird webinar with just special time with all of us who have signed up early, get special time with TIPA. And who doesn't love special time with TIPA, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, and you know what, Rebecca, I also wanted to mention, just in case, because the guidelines have changed for face masks and the guidelines have changed about social distancing a little bit, but the conference is virtual, right? Yeah.
It is. Thank you for bringing that up, Carrie. You know, when we made that decision, and it was a really hard decision, we made that decision in February. At that point, there was such limited rollout of the vaccine, and we just felt like we needed to do what was in the best interest of our PAC family. And so we are going to be virtual again this year. There will be some pockets of people who are together. Ooh, just throwing that out there. Some of us might be able to be together if we're vaccinated and can do that safely. But it will be virtual. And the awesome thing about that is we can get folks from all around the world to be a part of that. So yes, it will be virtual. We will all be together. Let's do this. Do this. Everybody reach out and hug. Oh, in 2022, we're going to do this. We can't wait to all be back together again, because there's something about that. I remember just sitting in the hallway of the hotel chatting with Melanie Bunn 2 years ago. And I wouldn't give anything for that time that we got to connect. So there's something about in person, but this year we're virtual. So
Awesome.
Matthew, thank you for bringing that encouragement card, because we have someone who I am so encouraged by that's going to be on our show tonight. So Pam Raydens, we got clarification on the pronunciation because I'm pretty sure I butchered it last week. So Pam, if you can come on screen. Pam Raydens is with Harmony River, which is a part of Presbyterian Homes. And so, hey, welcome to SUP, Pam.
Hello, thank you. So exciting. All these exciting things you guys have coming up. Love it.
Yes, we hope to see you at a lot of those. So Pam, I know that you are not a newbie in this field. You have been around, although the math doesn't seem to add up because you look about 34. So I'm just saying that. But when you talk about how long you've been in the field and all that you've done, it's just like, it's really cool to hear. But tell us where you are now. Can you share with us your role and how you got started in senior care?
Sure. So I work at Harmony River Living Center. It's a Presbyterian home in Hutchinson, Minnesota. Yeah, sure, you betcha. My title here is Resident Services Director. I work primarily with our assisted living memory care as well as our skilled nursing memory care residents. I also do marketing and, whatever they throw at me, I'm happy to do. Wear a few hats here. Yeah. When I started, I started a long time ago, and thank you so much for the compliment, but I started when I was 17 working with seniors, and I was in the activity department. And I was assigned this resident. Her name was Ruth, and she was anxious, and she had some wandering and some behavioral expressions, and I just created a real bond with her. She's just a wonderful lady, and we connected on her level. So I got to spend about a year getting to know her family, and it was just so rewarding that she impacted me very, very much to get a minor in gerontology from St. Cloud State University. Now, ironically, my major is art education. They didn't have a major with anything with aging, gerontology. So art education with a minor in gerontology. And then 10 years later, I went back and I got my master's in gerontology, and the rest is history.
So I love that. I love that you get through in a little, what would you call that? Like Minnesota ease there with the.
Yeah, sure.
You're cracking me up. Well, also because you said you're from a town called Hutchinson, and when we did kind of our talk before the show, I think you kept calling it Hutch. And so I was like trying to look up Hutch on the map. I'm like, where
it's not there. Right. So, Hutchinson is the whole name, but yeah, us locals call it Hutch or Litch. That would be my other town that I'm from, Litchfield, Hutchinson. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So I'm getting the lingo. I'm from the South, but we're going to like speak each other's language here. I love that you said with Ruth, speaking of language, you talked about behavioral expressions, and that Ruth exhibited some anxious behaviors. And I'm guessing that was not so welcomed by a lot of the staff, but there was something that you were able to do with Ruth that, like you said, created that bond. And man, not only did you make a difference in Ruth's life, but it sounds like she made a difference in your career path
She
and your
did.
life as well. How cool is
Yeah,
that?
absolutely. Yeah. And I think it was just, we've grown so much in education over the past 30 some years that I think that's where it really is now. We didn't know back then how to interact as well, how to slow down, how to do the hand underhand, and all the things that we're learning. So we're just learning what we know now is much better than what we knew then.
You got it. Yeah, and so it's an ever evolving process, and it's so cool because you started at such a young age working in a community in activities at 17 years old, right? Is that what you said? 17?
Right. Yep.
And so now what's really cool is you're able to help young people, and a big passion of yours is helping young people find that success, find that gift, find that calling. Can you tell our viewers more about your work with young folks and getting them embedded in gerontology as well?
Sure. Yeah. I have two daughters. One is 24, the other is 19. They've always been around older adults. My parents had me when they were in their mid 40s. Yeah, I know. But, that was older. So they've always been around walkers, oxygen, various health problems, as well as my aunts and uncles have had various health concerns too. So by my own family, I've become comfortable. My kids have become comfortable. They've been built-in volunteers from, well, literally before they were born. They have been helping in one way or the other. So that's how my kids have really gotten involved. And I've just kind of nurtured that. My oldest works as an occupational therapy assistant. My youngest is going to school for ag education, but still has a strong passion for the older adults and works actually here as a receptionist. In addition to that, I've gotten involved in some schools, colleges in the area, and had kids come in and get to interact with our residents one-on-one or in groups, whichever's more comfortable for them. I've had some do some longer internships, which has been fantastic. A lot of them have gone into healthcare careers, and all of them get a taste of dementia and what that brings, and they've all really benefit from it. And in
I think
fact,
that's so cool, Pam, because you've embedded that passion, but it's through offering the support that's needed. No one felt like they were, whether it was your kids or your interns, really felt like they were just out there to figure it out on their own. Because I think that's what's so scary is we just don't know what we don't know. And yeah, I think you're about to say, in fact, you might
have
have
to
done
walk
some
with them
training
in
for
the process. So a few years ago, I had this young man come, and he was going to be an intern again from my alma mater, and he was a very good intern, did a fantastic job. And I talked to my administrator saying, we got to keep this guy. Well, turns out he's now my administrator. So starting out as an intern, this was not necessarily his career path that he was thinking. It was something into health, but maybe marketing, not really sure. And he is, well, don't tell him, but he is really one heck of an administrator. He does a fantastic job.
Well,
I
he
do
had a
remind
great,
him, excuse me?
I was going to say he had great support. He had great guidance. Of course,
There
he's a
you
great
go. And
administrator.
I don't let him forget that either. His office is just by mine. So every once in a while, yeah. You remember that there, Luke.
I think you said, especially around review time, you might remind or plant a little seed in his head.
Absolutely. Or if I want something, then we'd remember.
Yeah. So like maybe when you went to him and said, I'd like to get a certification with PAC or something like that, how did you first learn about PAC certifications?
Yeah, well, I've actually been able to see TEPA live 3 times. 2 of those times we hosted here in Hutchinson, 2016 and 2019, both packed houses. I actually took my daughter as a birthday present for her 22nd birthday in 2019 to see TEPA because I was just so excited about her. And I think we may have a picture of that.
That is so cool. So what a PAC, like I mean, what a pack fan, because I can't imagine many folks who are like, your birthday present is going to see Teepa Snow, but that is the best story I've ever heard. And I think that Carrie does have a picture that we'll put here on the screen of your daughter and you and Teepa. So she got to see Teepa. What was that like for her? Was that her first experience seeing Teepa?
Yeah, it was. Teepa kind of thought I was crazy having, taken my daughter, but I thought it was great. It was her first. It was her first experience to see Teepa. She really loved it. She works fantastic with people with dementia, and that's really why I wanted her to get this early taste of what Teepa has to offer and what the PAC community has to offer. And she may not agree at the age she is, but I think that really has impacted her through her career so far too, and through her college years.
Sure, that's so cool. I'm so glad you were able to dig up that picture. And Teepa always looks so good in her pictures with their thumbs up. I love it.
Right.
So how did you learn about the certification course? Because you're actually a PAC certified trainer, and
Yep,
you
I
didn't
am.
have to go too far for your course, right?
No, we were really lucky. She came to Minnesota. We did that. I'm going on my second year now. Two of us from our Presbyterian homes were awarded to go and be trained. We were revamping our dementia education and felt that this was a great way to do it, to send two of us to the course. Well, it's only benefited everybody since then. But that was a great experience. Megan is the other person who went with me, and she has a community in the cities, and it's just wonderful how we can support each other and really support the PAC community. It's been great. We were actually able to bring Teepa to a Zoom conference last year. Unfortunately, it had to be Zoom. We were planning for live, but that was broadcast through all of Presbyterian homes. So what Megan and I got to experience in real life with the training, they got to see through Teepa via Zoom, which, it's what we could do, and it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And what was the theme of that conference? Because I think there was a special twist on it, right?
Well, it was Christian ministry. With Presbyterian Homes, we are a Christian-based organization. But, of course, in addition to Christian ministry, she's always the PPA and the hand under hand, and it's just so important. The visual changes, just tremendous.
And you said that's actually become a major priority with your organization, with Presbyterian Homes, is really implementing that hand under hand and PPA. Is that right?
Right. Yep. Implementing those, just making the staff aware of just the huge impact that it has when we recognize the visual changes, and just setting things in locations, getting in within visual range, as well as, of course, the PPA and the hand under hand. It can't be beat. You explain it to somebody and they think, yeah, right. Well, you try it and it's amazing. It's just fantastic. We also have a program through Impera. Now, Impera is a Minnesota-based consortium, but they also have education that goes nationally and worldwide. It's a consortium with both Cassia, St. Therese, Volunteers of America, and Presbyterian Homes. And what they do is quality improvement. So this is their 5th project. They've always done things in the dementia line. They've done sleep, they've done sundowning, end of life discussions with families, healthcare directives, falls, and now they're doing what's called STREAM. And STREAM talks about incontinence. So they have, it's just amazing. You'll have to look it up. They have these incontinent smart briefs
Wow.
that they can put on residents. We can put on residents with an actigraphy watch. And between the brief and the watch, we can tell when a person may be incontinent, the time, the volume, their sleep patterns. And then we can take all that information and use our GEM knowledge, which we're teaching in Impera with that, and know how to specify and help that person depending on what GEM level they're in. So it's just fascinating. We're only in the first year of this grant, so watch for it because it'll be big and it'll be out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a feeling there's going to be some people following up with you about those products. And there's not the products, but the what you're putting together with the consortium, especially you said falls was another one. Is that right?
Yep, falls was fantastic. Various techniques to eliminate falls. The sundowning one was phenomenal. That actually Luke, our administrator, was the lead of before he became administrator, talking about lighting. We talked about aromatherapy, just sundowning itself, and how to keep people awake during the day for better sleep. Snooze foods, that was a great thing. Just, it's phenomenal, the things that they have.
And so that's a Minnesota-based consortium, you said.
It is, but they, like I said, they have gone nationally and they've gone worldwide. They've traveled over in the European areas, I believe, and teaching this stuff. So the studies have gone on here and we've been part of them. That's so cool. But they've taken that education and shared it with others.
Nice, Pam, that's awesome. And so you're not only working out there in the community and working with this consortium, but I know you've really been digging deeper into the skills level within your community. And with that PPA hand under hand, and we're going to get to gyms in a minute, but one of the things that you've really implemented is this transfer piece, the sit to stand and stand to sit. And when we were talking before, I did a little role play of what that looks like in some communities. It can be a very traumatic experience to feel like you're falling when someone's just, trying to get you to sit down and you don't really understand what their request is. And you said a cool thing to me when we talked before. You said that is so out of the norm now, that your staff are so great with these transfers that they would look at that and go, what's going on? Like, we don't do that. But for our viewers that don't know, that does happen in a lot of places. Can you talk more about that transformation for your staff?
Well, it's education. We've just come so far with educating people on approaches, on vision. I can't emphasize that enough. If the person sees you coming, it's so much easier to get an interaction than just to scare them from behind. So that's just been huge. It's all those things that we've learned through TIPA, through hand under hand, and then it's the mentoring each other. The staff see, whoa, that really worked well for you. I'm going to try that, and it just goes from there. So it has, it's just become kind of a natural. This is how we do things. So it's the caring staff and wanting to make the best for the resident, which really counts. But it's a thing you have to buy into, and the staff have to buy into it. And thankfully ours have.
Yeah, and we talk a lot of times on stuff about how it's buy-in on all levels.
Right.
It's from an organizational leadership level, it's to your local level, it's to the direct care staff level. I mean, it's multi-layer, and it has to be a bit of a buy-in to make culture change.
Absolutely.
So sounds like you're doing that.
Yeah, when you see it work, it's just so phenomenal that it's easy to buy into it, and families see that work too. And it's a win-win for everybody, especially the person we're taking care of.
Absolutely. Well, and all of us want to do better. It's just, many of us don't naturally have that skill. And one of the pieces of knowledge that you've talked about, and you mentioned a minute ago, that's been so valuable for your staff, but also for families that you work with, is that vision change piece. So what is that like when you have an opportunity to provide that information, provide that awareness for families, and they have that aha of what their loved one's vision field may be like at this point? What's that like for them?
That's probably one of my favorite things to teach. I just love that. I love doing the binocular, going down. It is just eye-opening. You see people just kind of jaw drop and think, wow, I never realized that. And how can they? We need to be able to tell them that. But then when they experience it as they're able to for their own two hands, they really can see, well, that's why she's walking like this. That's why she can't reach this. Oh, that's why he gets scared when I come up on the side of him. It makes so much sense, and it just kind of clicks everything together once they understand that. I think it's just a miracle how they it's just all comes together. Like, wow, that does make sense. And then you do see people coming around to the front, getting on their level, and like I said, having things within reach.
Yeah, I mean, when we have those ahas for ourselves versus you standing up there and saying to your staff, don't come and up to someone from behind and, blah, 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 all these things that we could talk at someone versus you allowing them to have that aha for themselves. And it sounds like you've seen some really cool light bulb moments. I think that's what keeps us all going is those aha.
And with COVID, things were restricted. So we couldn't do a lot of the hand under hand with somebody else's hand. We weren't able to do some of the things that we practice, but everybody can use their own hands to get the visual changes down. So that was kind of a COVID friendly thing to teach too.
You got it. I love that. And so another cool thing that you've shifted. So the vision changes is something that I can do for myself and experience what that feels like, experience what that would be like, and then make my own applies of how I can approach someone living with dementia differently. You also took a little bit of a shift with COVID because without that as much focus on PPA and hand under hand because of CDC requirements and so on, local requirements, you decided to really use this time to take a deeper dive into GEMS.
Right.
Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have our corporate Press Homes has a Dove program, which is very good. We couldn't have that in-person education. We couldn't go to our corporate office. We couldn't do that. And we were finding a real need with those who worked with especially in our dementia specific neighborhoods, that they needed more education. They needed to have as much hands-on person to person talking as we could. Well, at least I'm local and right in the building, so I could do that. So we talked about GEMS. It was the basic understanding for them to understand the different types of different ways dementia can present itself and how we ebb and flow through those different areas. You were talking earlier about diamonds. Oh, diamonds are a good one to learn a lot about. And I think that's what we struggle with. So we just needed to dive deeper into that. So we did a 6-month education. Every month we did a quality improvement talk on the GEMS, and we took them one at a time. I had the staff download TIPA's app on GEMS, which is fantastic. Love it. Yep, got it on my phone. Love it. Everybody has their phone anyway, right? Might as well use it in a good way. We did workshop C. That was fantastic. I showed, the video clips after each gem, and then we talked about it. We said, okay, in our neighborhood, who do you see as, and we listed for each gem as we went down. And then we said, okay, now tell me about that person. And we get into some fantastic discussions. Of course, we're all staff, so it's confidential. And you can see those things come out. You can see how they change from one gem to another, maybe different during different periods of the day. Yeah. That was just so valuable. And I think that the staff looked at them more as, this is something they can't help. This is where they're at. And this is how we need to understand them.
Yeah.
So much more friendly.
Like you really put a face to the GEMS where it's just not this kind of abstract model, but it is actually, you sat down with your staff and said, okay, so based on what we're learning about emeralds, based on what we're learning about ambers,
exactly,
who do you think is Mrs. Smith, more of an emerald or an amber by 4 o'clock in the afternoon?
And when Tipo was talking, I mean, everybody, you could just see everybody's like, yeah, well, I know who that is. I know who that is. It just pops into your mind. And then it's such good conversation to have afterwards when we have behavioral expressions or when we have, sadness, exits, whatever it might be.
Mhm.
That's a good way that we can identify it, by naming the person with what gem that might represent.
It sounds like, Pam, a cool thing that your organization has done too is kind of like incentivize this growth within folks. So you said that you and a colleague actually earned the opportunity to go to the certification course. Like, that was something that you earned. That was a privilege to get to go to the course and bring that back. And the cool thing happened with the GEMS teaching too. Tell us about this. And I know we've got another picture, but you made this really come to life and become an incentive or some added interest for your staff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we all like to have things on our name tags. We have various symbols of different things. In a minute, you'll see that I have the dove, that sense that I was to the dove training through our corporate office. But with our gemstones, well, for one thing, it helped me keep track. But for every time we learned about a different gem, I gave them a stick-on gem that they could put on their name tag. That way, there you go. So it was then a topic of conversation. Okay, why do you have this blue stone and this diamond on your name tag? What's that about? So other staff were getting curious too, and my office is close to our cafe, so I can hear some of the conversations. So it was nice to hear, well, we're learning about dementia, and this is the gems. They maybe didn't go into a lot of detail at the cafe, but it was a question, it was a curiosity, and that's the start. We got a spark that way. So as you can see, my name tag was full when we got everybody through the session of gems. There you go. I did that with our long-term care, memory care neighborhood, finished them just a month or two ago. And now I'm starting that with our assisted living memory care neighborhood.
That's so cool. And so hopefully at some point, everyone across your campus will have all of those gems.
That'd be so cool. Yeah. And in
I
fact,
love that you got creative with that.
Excuse me?
I love that you got creative with that you got these stickers so that it became this point of pride and this curiosity and this interest.
And to keep going. Yeah. We had a state surveyor come a couple weeks ago, and he was asking, of course, about our dementia education, because obviously that's very important. And he read over the materials, of course, that I used through TIPA, and he was very impressed. So that's kind of fun too.
A state surveyor was very impressed. That is what you want to hear.
That's a happy thing.
That was a very happy thing. Yeah. And I know so Kathleen Landau was your mentor for recertifying. Was she also your mentor when you originally got your certification?
Yeah, she was. She's fantastic. She puts up with me.
Well, it's obviously a mutual admiration society, because Kathleen's actually who recommended and said, you've got to get Pam on to Straight Up Positive. And I was looking back through some emails where you had shared that picture of the name tags with Kathleen, and you said, it's really interesting how difficult it is to find consistently sized like gem stickers, but how cool that they were different, because that also shows gem states are different too.
It is. It just has to fit on the name tag. That's the tricky part.
You made it work. That was awesome. Thanks for getting that picture for us so people could see, because I think that could be something that other trainers who are watching could really implement a program like that. And such a simple thing that, as you said, sparked that interest within your staff to have. We all like a little bling. Yeah. I know we have our trainer pins and our different pins through PAC, and we all like to have those on our name tags as well. So it's
kind of an accomplishment. I got them all,
Exactly. Nice job. So what are you and your team up to now? So we're kind of in this transition place. We're coming out of the pandemic. So what are you guys doing now?
Well, we're trying to get back to a better normal than what we had. I have reinstated quarterly dementia education classes for my families and potential residents. And in fact, we're talking about STREAM, the Impera consortium thing at our next meeting, which will be very interesting to families. I've also started a monthly support group that I'm doing with another gal. And, it went very well. We've only done it once. So, May is down. We'll see how June goes, and hopefully it'll build from there. We are still doing everything via Zoom, but hopefully we'll be back to live in person, in the coming months. I think though we're going to still stick with the Zoom option though. It seems there's a lot of people who they like that the privacy where I can turn my camera off and I can just listen, or I can be here and, I don't really have to be too involved, physically involved. I don't have to leave while people see me, things like that. So I think we want to keep the virtual available. The more people that we can get and be comfortable, the better. So whatever it takes.
And I think a lot of us are going to find that as we move forward in months and years to come, that there's more of a hybrid model. And so, we take what the takeaways from it, that, okay, this works for some people, and it might not have been something that they would have tried before. Now they are, and it's working. So, nice.
Yeah, so, it's an option you can do any place. You can do it on vacation if you want, which is a really good thing too.
Exactly. So Pam, I'm curious did you tell your daughter about the program tonight? Did you tell her she was going to have a cameo picture? No,
I did not. I might tell her maybe tomorrow. We'll see.
Well, she can always go back and watch it on Tiba's YouTube page. Carrie and Matthew, I'm curious, I told you Pam was awesome, right? Did I tell you that she was awesome? And I just met her.
Pay you later.
So another person, and I'm just going to give another plug because Carrie said this in the intro, but Pam had this relationship with Kathleen as her mentor, Kathleen Landau, and Kathleen was such a strong mentor. And obviously, Pam was such a great learner, and they are now kind of partnering as colleagues in a sense. And I have to tell you, our guest next week, Sherry Thiessen, she just got stuck with me in January at the January coach course. She got stuck with me as her mentor. And when we were doing her graduation paperwork, her final certification paperwork, I said, will you please come on Straight Up Positive? And I did the same thing, Pam. I said, I'll pay you to say, don't tell them what a pain I was as a mentor, but the things you're doing. So everybody come back next week to see Sherry Thiessen, who is rocking some PAC coaching skills that she got in January, and has been a trainer for 4 years. So come back for that. Guys, takeaways. Because I know I saw in the chat, we have our little chat going on Zoom, and Matthew was like, whoa, that's so cool. And yeah.
For me, I love the idea of adding that little extra piece. So as you go through the gems, being able to show that accomplishment on the name tag, because that, for a lot of folks, that visual is so powerful, right? And to be able to show this is something that they've done and have that piece and just what that means to folks. And we've seen other examples of people really take those gems and do really cool things, like make a really cool hat from the gems and everything. So that part right there, just the power of what that can do and mean to people, that's my takeaway for tonight.
Yeah, so it sounds like, Matthew, that your dog had some takeaways too, but I'm curious, as you're muting yourself. Yeah, I didn't set that up very well. Any takeaways, Carrie, that you had, or Pam, maybe that you had from the intro? I know for me, Pam, hearing just about that buy-in piece is, I think, so valuable, because if we as staff members, as leadership, if we don't truly buy into something, we're not going to follow through on it. And so you've shown the proof is in the pudding, this stuff works.
Right.
And that's really cool that you've been able to do that and bring that back to your community. So that's my takeaway. How about you, Carrie?
I think just always am impressed when people bring their families in, like you're bringing your daughter in. I know Matthew has had his kids involved with the positive approach, Beth Nolan and Liv, and just so many, even the Snow's kids, right? Or Amanda and Dan's kids, the Bulgarellis, they just have that ingrained interpersonal skill there, those really important skills that unfortunately just don't get skipped over in schools now, like it's so, I think it's so important just to have those PAC skills from such an early age, and, introducing your daughter to it at her age.
And now she's in the industry. So well done, Mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a great point, Carrie. So that idea of folks getting this kind of multi-generational, showing what it's like to care for someone who's aging, and it's not something to be afraid of. And I'm curious, Pam, is there any takeaway that you have other than just, I want you to do this with me. Can you put your arm up like this? And I want you to reach back and pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back. Any takeaways other than, hey, I'm pretty awesome?
No. There's just so much information out there. The things that Carrie was talking about, I can't keep up with it all. It's just, there's so much stuff. And I think we all just need to be better at taking advantage of it. Even these, they're fantastic, so I hope we get 1,000 views on it. And all the past ones, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Just
there's a lot going on that PAC's giving back into the community, and sometimes it does feel like we're drinking water out of a fire hose, but that's such a good reminder, Pam, that even as certified community members, sometimes we lose sight of what's there for us to take advantage of and see within Positive Approach to Care. So thank you for that takeaway. You guys, how are you feeling? I'm feeling like here.
Yeah, for sure here. What a great, again, this is probably one of the best things that I feel like I get to do out of a week. And I know you guys all agree, that ability to like show the shine of all of the awesome people out there in the certified community, it just doesn't get any better, because that's a big part of why we're doing it, right? It's that relationship piece. We have this relationship with all these folks out there who are doing these cool things, and to see what they're doing and be able to show what they're doing, it just hits you in the feels, right?
Definitely. Pam, thank you so much for taking time to come on tonight and share your story, share your shine. We are proud to have you as part of our PAC certified community. Thank you.
I'm just happy I can be here, and anything I can bring to our residents and their families. Thank you for having me on. What an honor.
You are welcome. So everybody come back next Tuesday for another story of a shining PAC certified community member. We'll see you next week, 7